So here's a question for all my fellas in the UK. Did you wake up yesterday or today and go online only to find that you can no longer access your, how should we call it, special interest private viewing materials? Well, that's because the UK's notorious Online Safety Act has just ramped things up in this country. As of yesterday, in order to continue accessing online material deemed to be adult, sensitive, mature in nature, you will have to go through an age verification process via a third-party platform, submitting proof of your identity, picture ID, credit card, etc. So essentially, as of yesterday, this now brings us in line with China. Gone is online anonymity. You will be accountable for everything you post or share online, regardless of how you configure your online presence. And if the government doesn't like what you say, they've got your bank details. And on top of that, let me read you some further facts from a tweet by Alex Armstrong. Say goodbye to private encrypted messages. Platforms can now be forced to scan them. Yvette Cooper, Home Secretary, decides what counts as harmful. Social media companies must delete anything that doesn't comply. You may be forced to scan your face or upload ID just to browse certain sites. Ofcom becomes the online super regulator with powers to take down content, access private systems, and fine platforms up to 10% of global revenue. Even legal content can be censored if it's deemed harmful enough to children. The scope is massive on that one. Think misinformation or satire. Platforms will over-censor by default. Satire, political views, and edgy humor are all at risk. Independent journalism is not protected. Only recognized outlets get exemptions. Recognized being establishment media. No real checks and balances. Unelected regulators and ministers now control what you're allowed to see online. This is a very sad day that's been a long time coming. Since 2020, a lot of us so-called conspiracy theorists have been talking about it because it's been in the cards since the pandemic when they failed on their first attempt to launch this. And so many of us were wondering, what next? Are they going to put us into another lockdown? Is it going to be climate change? Is it going to be an economic collapse? What emergency are they going to create in order to do this? But who would have thought that emergency would be an urgent need to spank the monkey? But yeah, seriously, they didn't need anything more dramatic. They didn't need a war. Well, they've gone ahead with the wars anyway, but they only had to target us lot, us Gen X males, because we were the ones getting in the way of their plans, right? Because we know what freedom is. We lived it. The younger generations don't know any better because they've grown up with this. COVID normalized authoritarianism for all of Gen Z pretty much. And in China, just as in North Korea, the concept of criticizing your government has never really been a part of their reality for most. And that's how the horrors of 2020 were allowed to happen. But as I've often said, Asia is simply a test bed for digital authoritarianism, and the West is just a couple of years behind. And over the last decade, we complacent Westerners have been very quick to call out tyranny in Asia. But we turn a blind eye when it's happening on our own doorstep. And our governments pretty much have the full support of the left. All you have to do is throw in the word offense, and they all get behind it. They love censoring free speech to protect their fragile feelings. In history, it was always the role of men to fight tyranny. But over the last few decades, there's been a war on masculinity, and courage has been replaced with apathy, ignorance, compliance, submission. So we are basically the last men standing. We Gen X monkey spankers who they just came for yesterday. And this is why you're watching this video now, because I'm going to tell you what you can do to get around this. There is a simple workaround to this ID verification, which you can all do in a matter of minutes. One option is to sign up with a VPN. That's what everybody in China does, because as you all know, in China you can't access any Western sites, but the average person just uses a VPN. However, this is a paid subscription service, and some of us don't want to spend money on this when we can do it for free. So listen carefully. I can only tell you how to do this on an iPhone. So if you're an Android user, you'll have to look this up for yourself. But basically, you just have to change your location setting. Make them think that you're in the US or any other country that you select rather than the UK. So on your iPhone, go to Settings, General, then Language and Region, and select a different region. It's as easy as that. Oh, and of course you may also have to do this on specific platforms like Twitter, X, or whatever sites you use to access your special interest private viewing materials. But yeah, that's all it is. So do it now and thank me later. It'll take you 1 minute. And please share this widely, because we all need to do this together. This will buy us freedom for a limited time until the rest of the world, the US, other countries follow suit, unless we overturn this. Sadly, I don't hold out all that much hope though, because as I said earlier on, men today are all a bunch of cucks. Yeah, I'm so sorry to say this. I just think most don't know or don't care, or both. As Bonnie Tyler famously said, "Where have all the good men gone, and where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? Isn't there a white knight upon a fiery steed? Late at night I toss and I turn and I dream of what I need." You need Donnie Wong. So depending what platform you're viewing this on, please comment, like, share, engage, follow, subscribe. Thank you.